Okay, in the April-May issue of Outsider, I show you how to process an image using Adobe Lightroom. So here's the video. Now the image you see was taken up the coast of Skerries and overlooks Coat Island. And on the far left you'll also see Rockville Island. Now the image itself is pretty good straight at the camera and not a whole lot more needs to be done. But there's always some tweaking to be done somewhere along the line. So in this case, the thing that bugs me straight away is on the left hand side. You see these areas of highlight and also in the middle which are blown, and you'll see that on the curve at the very top here where the highlights are clipped. So what I'm going to do is here to try and resolve some of that is use a recovery slider to try and bring some detail back into those blown highlights. Now it affects the all over image, but I'm not too worried about that at the moment. The next thing I did was just a contrast, a small bit, along with the brightness. Now straight up the image is making some smaller improvements, but I want to enhance it a bit further. And here is where I use the tone curve and this selective adjustment tool. If I select that, it allows me to pick areas of the image to work on. So here you'll see wherever I click, the curve on the right hand side is adjusted. So I select the highlights near the top of the right hand side of the curve is selected, and down in the shadows you'll see the bottom left hand is selected. So here all I want to do is brighten the highlights a small bit and maybe darken the darks a tiny bit as well. So that's all I'm going to do there for now, and I'm going to move on to Lightroom's next most powerful thing, which is the graduated neutral density filter. Now I use these all the time on the camera, but these allow you to control the effect a bit more than you normally would be able to. So the way to do that is by simply clicking and dragging, and the lines you see indicate the area that's going to be affected by your changes that you make. So in this case I'm just going to darken the sky a bit to create a bit more mood, and just if I drag that a small bit you'll see the effect it has on it. And if I double click on the pointer you'll see before, and I'll bring it back, you'll see the after. So I can adjust that by clicking at the top and dragging the lines down. I can select the areas of the sky I want affected, and you can see straight away that makes a big difference to the sky. So before and after, a lot more moody. Now one final thing I want to do is just the color temperature of the scene. Lightroom has a cursor which lets you pick an area of neutral area of color, which should in theory give you a perfect color balance, but theory is a great thing. If I select that, you see it looks a bit strange. So what I normally do is do it by eye, and to give me an effect that I want. It's all personal preference, but it's up to you what you want to do. That to me is a lot more natural looking. It's what I see in the scene. The final thing I normally do with all my images is use the clarity tool to create a bit of mid-tone definition and contrast. And normally I go between 30 and 40 points on this slider here. It's all personal preference, so it's up to you what you want to do. But here I'm on 42, and if I double click to show you the before, and there's the after, you can see especially in the sky there's a bit more definition there. And finally, just to boost the colour just a small bit, I use the vibrance tool, and that's it.